Hello everybody, this is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. Today I thought we would put together a red, white, and blue arrangement as a tribute to Flag Day. So Flag Day, today, June the 4th, 1777, the American flag was adopted and as our national flag, and so I thought it might be fun to do a red, white, and blue arrangement. This is a tin container that what I've done is I've placed some rocks down into the bottom to give it a little bit of weight. I took a little container, added some fresh floral foam, and dropped it right on the top of this container, and actually I'll show you what that looks like. It's just actually a small flower pot that I had in the back. It's just a little plastic flower pot, and I have taken and taped down my floral foam, and it just sits right on top of my container. So the reason I went ahead and added stones to the bottom is because this foam is a little bit heavy and I didn't want my arrangement to be top heavy. I'm going to start out with a little bit of foliage. This is just greenery that I harvested out of the yard. I'm going to strip that down and break it and go ahead and add that greenery to my floral foam. Now this is an arrangement that would be perfect for any patriotic holiday. You could use it for the 4th of July, you could use it for Flag Day, you can use it for Labor Day or Memorial Day, but it's a fun red, white, and blue arrangement, perfect for any holiday. So I'm just taking my foliage and adding it to my container. And I am just using my fingernail and just breaking that foliage off. You can absolutely use some snips if you wanted to, but this works just as well. Now this foliage just grows here in our yard here at the flower shop. You can go and harvest any foliage, and of course if you wanted to purchase your foliage you can do that too. I just always think in the summertime when foliage is so pretty outside, if it holds up in an arrangement, I really like to go and harvest my own, just so that I'm not spending my money on my foliage. Now, if you go and harvest your foliage, I would test it out first. Before you use it for an event or anything like that, I would go ahead and cut some, add it to fresh water, and see how it lasts. If it holds up really well, go ahead and use it. Like this foliage holds up beautifully, and so I use it a good bit in floral arrangements. But just play with it and see if it works. You can do the same with cut flowers out of your yard. See if they hold up for you. And if they do, please use them. Have fun with them. I'm going to actually take this container. I'm going to move this riser so that you can see the height of this arrangement. So of course, the flowers that I chose are red, white, and blue to symbolize the flag. So the blue flowers I chose are blue delphinium. So blue delphinium is one of the true blue flowers out there. There's not a whole lot of true blue flowers, but blue delphinium is one of those. So I am going to take my floral knife, and I'm going to leave some height on this delphinium. So I took that knife and I cut it in an angle, and I'm tucking that right in the top of that arrangement. Some of these little blooms on the bottom are not looking great, so I'm going to go ahead and pull those off of this stem. Cut that stem at an angle and press it right into that floral foam. Here's another stem. Cut it in an angle. So I am just using the blue delphinium as some height in this arrangement. All right, so there's my blue delphinium. I actually used 5 stems of blue delphinium as my line. So there's our pretty height. Next, we're going to come in with some pretty white standard daisies. So chrysanthemums come in several different varieties, and the traditional daisy is one of those varieties. A traditional daisy has the little yellow center most often, and it comes in several different colors. It comes in whites and lavenders and yellows. So what I did was I took my snips and I cut the top out of this spray of daisies. I'm going to use it in 2 separate insertions into my arrangement. So the short stem I tucked in deep, and the longer stem I'm going to use higher in my arrangement. So therefore I have 2 pieces. And you can see how bunched it is. It's a really big stem. I'm going to do the exact same thing with this one. Taking my snips, I'm going to cut the top out of that flower. So now I have 2 insertions. Press that one right into that floral foam. A couple of my stems came off, and that's perfectly okay. I'll use those tucked in deeper. Cut that stem, and I'm just tucking that right in just to fill up my space. Now a couple of my stems came off. Cut those stems at an angle and just press them right into that foam right there in the front. But I love to use a flower that has that's like this, that has lots of blooms on it, and cut it in half, and that way you are able to use it as 2 flowers instead of 1. I'm going to do the same with this one. Tuck this one toward the back. I'm going to get this one up here in the top with some height. All right, so there is our blue delphinium and our white daisies. Next, let's come in with some red. So the red I chose today are red gerbera daisies. I have 2 stems of red gerberas, and then I have 5 stems of red carnations. So we're going to put in our gerbera daisies first. Our gerbera daisies are going to be our focal flower. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to stagger them. We're going to put one up top and one down towards the bottom. I'm going to take and look at them, and you're going to see that this one is a little bit smaller of a bloom than this one. So I'm going to cut this one at an angle, and I'm going to tuck it kind of higher in the arrangement. And then my second bloom, I'm going to cut it a little shorter and tuck it just a little lower in my arrangement. So there's the 2 gerberas. Next, what I'm going to do with my carnations is I'm just going to fill in with the red carnations. I'm taking this carnation and I'm holding its little head right there around the calyx. So there's the calyx of the flower. I am very softly holding that flower in between my thumb and my forefinger, and I am fluffing that carnation. Now you have to hold it just like this, very softly, and fluff it, because if you don't, if I tried to brush it holding it like this, I'm very likely to pop his head off. So very carefully take that bloom, hold him in your hand, and just fluff those flowers. Now let me say that this is the only flower that you really need to fluff this way. A carnation has pretty tough petals, and so the petals don't bruise like other flowers. So don't try this on any other bloom, only do this with a carnation. But just take your hand and very softly brush those petals, and you'll open up that bloom. Now what I'm going to do with my carnations is I'm just going to place them all the way around in my arrangement. So we're just going to tuck them here and there to give us this pretty red throughout the arrangement. All right. So our finishing touch for this arrangement, we are going to add a few flags. So we had some small American flags, and you can pick these up this time of the year just about anywhere at your local grocery store, your local dollar store. But I found some pretty little American flags, and I thought we would tuck those right over into our arrangement, just adding that finished touch for our flag arrangement. Now, of course, you can absolutely add ribbon if you wanted to. If you had some American flag ribbon for the 4th of July, you can add that. If you have some fun little firecrackers, you can add those to your arrangement. But I thought as a finishing touch, these little flags would be perfect. And there you have it. There is our red, white, and blue patriotic arrangement for any occasion that you might want to use it for. But for today, it's for Flag Day. Guys, thank you so much for being here with us today. If you have any questions about how we do things here at our shop, please don't hesitate to ask. We are so happy to answer those questions for you. If you have not already subscribed to our channel, be sure to do that. Hit that little button down below, that little subscribe button down below, and there's also a little bell that'll give you notifications when we have a new video up. Guys, have a great afternoon, and we'll see you real soon. Thank you.